The video you're about to see might have to do with music theory. Don't worry, it's way simpler than you think, I promise you. Let me prove it to you with my free Music Theory DNA course, which is going to put you on the right path to learning those hard to understand concepts in a super easy and healthy way. Check out guitarinfusion.com, enter your best email address. I'll be sending you that free course right away. But for now, let's get into the video. Today, we're going to talk about hearing things without having to play them. It's going to help you being able to learn different musical pieces without your guitar. You're going to save tons of time. It's super beneficial wherever you're at. And even though it's going to help you hear things without the guitar, we're going to work on this with the guitar. I'll show you exactly how this is done. Grab your guitar. Right after this, we're getting started. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players find their unique voice, what makes them who they are. Develop that voice on the instrument, the guitar in this case, to tell your own personal musical story. This is not a channel about making clones of Steve Vai, Jeff Beck, or whoever. No, this is about making you who you are on the guitar. It's a subject I'm really passionate about, and today is going to strengthen the connection between the inside and the outside. So the inside, that's your soul, that's your being, that's your musical story. The outside goes through our fingers and on this piece of wood. This is the pencil. You're the author. Let's learn how to use this. And for that, we need to have a connection piece, right, between what's inside of you and what's outside. And that connection is the ear. We're going to work on our ears today. And for that, we're also going to have our guitars in our hand because we want that connection to be made. The object here is to train our ear to hear different movements, hear different things, and hear differences. Because if we can hear the differences, if we know that one thing is different from the other, even though they might be close. By the way, if this was too close, by the end of this video, it won't be anymore. This is really going to help you. So that's what it'll do. All right, so you have your guitar, hopefully. I'm tuned in standard tuning. And we're going to start with a chord. I'm going to start with a 6-note chord. Now, when I say 6-note chord, I don't mean 6 different intervals. Oftentimes, if you talk about 4-note chords, you're talking about typically a root, a third, a fifth, a seventh. No, I'm talking about 6 notes, 6 pitches. But some of these notes might be repeated, have the same function. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this chord right here, which is an A major chord, the barre. I played it kind of fast, but here it is close. So here's our shape. It's a barre chord, the major chord barred with the root on the low E string. We're barring the 5th fret right here, and we have from the low E string to the high E string, we have frets 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, and 5. All right, so being aware of how many different notes there are is going to help you with this. Now we're going to consider 6 different pitches. So we're going to go back to our A major chord. And mentally, I want you to isolate each of these pitches. Okay, so you've got these different pitches, right? I'm going to change one of these. It's our reference. Okay. Reference, and here's the new one. You're seeing my fingers here, but you see what's happening. I'm just changing one finger. So there was one note that changed, and that was the third one. Just one note changed. And that note went down, and that happened on the third pitch that we're hearing. So the if I'm strumming from the low string to the high string, the third string that I'm strumming changed. It's going to get more complex, don't worry, but that's the principle, okay? All right, so that's our reference. Again, and now I'm going to change two pitches. And here's where it's going to get complex, because as I'm playing this chord, things are going to get blurred here. Visually, you're not going to be able to follow here. So here we go. We got this. That was our reference. And here's the new one. Don't play. You can hold your guitar. Don't play. Just listen. Where did the differences happen? Was it on the sixth string, fifth, fourth, third, second, or first? Here it is again. Here's the reference. Here's the new one. Two pitches changed. So if you're able to recognize which strings were altered, changed, that's great. The next step is to ask yourself, did the pitch on that string change? Did it go higher or lower? If it went lower, that means that a finger either went lower or was lifted, if it's a bar chord. If the pitch went higher, that means that a finger was added. And always keep in mind that what you're hearing, and in this case, what I'm playing, is played by a human being that likes comfort. I don't like, like super wide stretches and things like that. So typically when you're trying to recognize what is going on a guitar, your knowledge of the instrument is going to help you, because typically guitar players like to play things simply. And we all should, because it's the end result that counts, not the technicality just for technicality. Okay, so yes, in this case, it was the fourth string and the second that changed. That's our reference. That's the fourth string. That's the second. Okay, so these two pitches changed, and on the fourth string, we went from this to this. So we probably lifted a finger if you got your reference. And then on the second string, that's the new note. It went from this to this. So we added a finger or raised a finger. So mentally, you can kind of visualize what's going on, right? On one string, we lifted a finger. On the other string, we added a finger. And most likely, it was the same finger that is doing the work. So I'm sure you got this, but unblurred, this is what we have. We had the reference, 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. That became 5, 7, 5, 6, 8, 5. And we see that it fits our understanding, our ear, that told us that on the fourth string, we went from one note to a lower one, so we lifted a finger. In this case, the pinky was lifted, so that now we have the bar, which is on the 5th fret. It's lower. And that pinky, which is now free, was going higher on that second string. Okay, from this to this. That's the kind of thing that should be going on in your mind. Okay, let's try the same thing this time. Here's our reference, the same exact chord. And this time, this is what I'm going to play. I got this. I'm not going to play this. Play it again. You kind of hear that both are in the same zone, right? I'm not like completely changing. Now I'm going to slow things down. how many pitches changed? Right? Now, if you think in terms of strings, the 6th string, which is the first string I'm playing, I know it's kind of confusing, but did that one change from this to this? No. Okay, so that is the same. So visually, you can kind of picture your chord. This is the 5th string. No, same. So that doesn't change. What about the 4th string? Going from the reference was a higher note to a lower note. So I probably lifted a finger there, right? And that finger now needs to go somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't have to, but if it could, it might. So now we have this. Okay, now the full chord is, let's hear the 4th note, which is the 3rd string. So we went from this to this. Higher. Well, remember that finger that was lifted? That's where it's going. So you can kind of picture the chord now. We started from 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. Mentally, you should be thinking 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 5. Right? So that's where both worlds kind of like meet. There's the world of your ear telling you that, okay, one note was raised, one note was lowered. There are 2 pitches that are different. And the other world is your understanding of the instrument, like your hours of practice will kind of tell you what is natural for a guitar player to do in that case. And that's exactly the kind of work that is very, very helpful when we do ear recognition, or when you're hearing a song on the radio and you want to do that. Let's do the same thing, but this time instead of thinking of a chord, we're going to think of a theme. So just like we did for the chord, we are going to use some images that we acquired, some mental pictures of shapes that we learned. So for the chord, it was that one, the typical bar chord. Could be anything, any other chords that you learned, depending on what's going on, but that's what we used for our reference. As far as the theme goes, we're going to try to tie that to a shape that we're very used to, very comfortable with, just for this exercise, and that'll be the minor pentatonic scale. The first position in the minor pentatonic scale, we'll stay in A here, so that'll be 2 notes per string, frets 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, and 5-8. Okay, so that's our bass, and we've all heard this over and over. If I play this, you kind of picture what I'm doing if you've been playing for a little while. Or if I play this, you really picture what I'm playing, right? Because this has been done over and over, and it's very ingrained type of sound that we have because we've heard it so many times. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to play the pentatonic scale, and I want you to play the same thing. We're in A, starting with the low E string. 2 notes per string all the time. We're going to descend that. And what we're doing here is engaging our ear with our physical, what we're doing here. And we're picturing what's going on. So you can look at your fretboard if you want, but you don't have to. You should basically know, at some point that if you're playing this, okay, I'm playing on the 4th string and 3rd string. And you should be picturing 5-7, 5-7. Right? That's where I want you to get. Okay, so this was played several times. It's kind of ingrained in your mind now. I'm going to play the same thing. Just in 1 octave, that's all we need. Now, I'm going to blur my fretboard. Picture this. Exactly what I just played, right? But you're picturing 5-8, 5-7, 5-7. I'm going to play a phrase now. I want you to play the same thing. Don't look at my fretboard. It's blurred. Here's what we have. Go ahead. Okay. And what about this? Simple. Same pitches. What about this? Same thing. What about this? Huh. A little different, right? So how many notes did I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Which of these 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, changed? Between this? Note number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was originally, now it's, so that note, the new one, is lower or higher than the original one? It's lower. It's right here. This and this are different, but close. So try to play that. Try to play this one first, which you know, and then try to play this one. What are you playing? You should be playing 5/8, 5/7, 4/7. Okay, let's continue this game. Don't look at my fretboard, it's blurred. Can you picture what I'm doing here? Simple enough, right? Now play it. So you should be just descending that scale. You're starting on the 4th string. 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5. Okay. What about this? Oh, come on, David. It's a little, same exact thing. Yes. All right, tricky. What about this? Yes, same thing. Different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th one was changed from this to this. That one is lower, so play that. Instead of playing, play this. You should be playing, starting on the 4th string, fret 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, not 5, but 4, right? Now if I play something like this, it's even lower, right? Even lower. But you kind of have a movement going on. And your ear being engaged will really help you. And if you take pieces of the things you acquired in your guitar journey, like the pentatonic scale, chords, different things, if you can match and go back in your mind and match some of these visual things with the thing you're trying to understand and hear and play, it's really going to help you. Start with tiny little things, simple things, and eventually you'll see that your ear really, really gets trained. And the more you work on different scales, keys, chords, different things like that, if you engage your ear, it's going to be simpler and simpler. At first, when you started playing and you heard something like this, it would be really, really difficult to understand what's going on. But now, depending on where you're at, but if you've been playing for, a year or more, you kind of have a feeling that, all right, that's pentatonic scale. And then eventually you start graduating to other things, and you hear this, for example. Harmonic minor. Or this. Lydian. You kind of like expand your musical vocabulary, your understanding of the instrument. The more you listen, the better you'll be at this. This concept, this idea of training your ear to hear more things is not only super beneficial, but essential if you want to advance as a guitar player. And for that, I highly recommend that you check out my free Guitar Infusion course, which is a free introductionary course to music theory in a super simple way. And it's going to help you with intervals. It's going to help you unlock all these different things. And it's going to help you train your ear and advance as a player without having to constantly go back to the basics. You're going to hear things, work on these things, and that's going to be part of your vocabulary, and it's an ongoing journey. Check it out at guitarinfusion.com. It's completely free. All you need to do is enter your valid email address, and I'll be sending you that free email course right away. And if this was your first visit on this channel, thank you so much for studying guitar with me and striving to become better players, and that's what this is all about. If you have not yet done so, you should consider subscribing, because every single week 3 videos like this one come out helping guitar players find their unique voice on the instrument, develop it to tell your own personal musical story. No one can play the way you play on the guitar. Why? Because there's only one of you, and that's what it's all about. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time. Practice well.